Hello, I'm Lisa,
And I'm Erin.
and this is the Getaways Podcast.
All right, we're still on our summer tips. So today we're talking about
Croatia.
Lisa's homeland.
And somewhere, I think I said when we did the Ask Each Other Questions a few episodes ago, and I said that would be my favorite, like I'd want to go back there for my favorite beaches.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that the Croatian beaches are so crazy pretty, and it's a choice, right? Because Croatia is mostly rock and not sand.
Which is why Dylan and I is not our favorite.
But that makes the water so unbelievably clear. There's nothing I love more than going out to snorkel and like seeing all the fish, even though they're not as colorful. But and if it's rock, it's just so much easier to see everything. It's so clear. It's so incredibly beautiful.
Which is funny because no matter where we are, Dylan and I like to stay, where we can touch or just pass there. But at least we'll be like, okay, I'm going out for a swim, and she'll I don't know if where you're from, you have these whole face masks that are snorkel masks, but they come in like pink and aqua. And so we always look for Lisa's little pink tip sticking out. And we'll be looking around beaches, like looking around, like where's she? And we'll see like the little pink tip almost out of sight. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't know how she swims out that far. And especially in Croatia, like there were beaches we'd go to and I would be like, where is she? And like, she was far. Like far.
There's nothing better in the world than and it's so weird because with that whole mask on, like Erin said, I don't know if they sell them everywhere, but you don't have to like breathe weird. You just breathe normal because it covers your nose and your mouth. And so it's the sound of your breath and the sound of the water and like just beauty. Like it's my happy place.
And the reason I don't like rocks, sometimes it hurts walking from point A to point B until you get in the water. Don't you think? Like it hurts our feet.
You definitely need water shoes.
And B, I think that like octopus and squid hide under the rocks, so I get really freaked out. When I go to rock beaches, I have to have a noodle so my feet don't touch and I look like a fool. So I prefer sand, even though I'm sure things hide under the sand too.
And I'm all about looking for those octopus.
Yeah. So. Yeah, Croatian beaches, we're going to dive into it, but they're very beautiful. Croatia is very underrated, I believe. I think it's starting to pick up. People are starting to discover Croatia.
I think a lot. Remember all the cruise ships that they were talking about?
Yeah. So we went to Croatia the first and only time to the beaches in the summer of 2021. So living in Italy, we were just coming out of COVID still.
Right.
And so it was still mask season. A lot of tourist stuff was down. There were still people weren't traveling. I don't know. Could people travel into Europe from America?
I think they could.
Well, I guess Katie did.
Yeah, they could. But we were with a friend that then lived in New York, and we went on a morning tour together, and they were telling us how the summer before COVID, there were so many cruise ships that came into the harbor in Dubrovnik that they were trying to limit the number that came in because the city couldn't support that many tourists at one time. So I'm not sure where they're at now, but they were just barely letting people in. So we were there at an incredibly empty time.
Which was beautiful. Like it was so nice to like have virtually the city to ourselves. Like,
right.
Like the streets weren't crowded. It was magical, but in a sad way because it was magical because, of COVID. But yeah, they said that the restaurants stopped even letting tourists eat there.
Using the bathroom. Do you remember? Oh, you weren't there. Okay. So, but the tour guide said that there was like a decision made, I mean, informal, but that that restaurants and stores were not going to let tourists use the bathroom, that they would have to use the public bathroom in the like main square in Dubrovnik. And like, can you imagine if there's like 8 cruise ships and that's the only way you have to go to the bathroom?
I think at the end of the day, it's not that these countries don't want tourists. It's just like the cruise ships have become so big and so many trying to port that when you put thousands and thousands of people in a town that is not even a mile.
I mean, it's tiny.
It's small. It's not sustainable and it doesn't work for anybody.
And we're talking about old Dubrovnik.
Yeah.
The actual like historical part of it in the middle.
But you're seeing it with like Venice, you're seeing it with Amsterdam. Like it's just And I think it's just the cruise ships are just becoming so big. So they still want the tourists. They live on that, but it's becoming overwhelming and it's damaging the city.
Right. It's catch-22, right? Because financially it's great, but when it starts to wear on your actual city and the structure and the infrastructure, it becomes a problem.
So we took a ferry from Ancona in Italy over to Split, and then we drove down to Dubrovnik for our first stop. We did 3 weeks. Dubrovnik, Split, and Pog Island. And so from Split to Dubrovnik, you have to go through Bosnia and Bosnia and
Herzegovina.
yes. And so, which is, did we have to go through immigration, like border crossing there? Because Bosnia is not part of the EU.
It's not part of the Schengen. I think it's part of the EU, but it's not part of the Schengen.
Did we go through?
I believe we did, because isn't that?
Oh, yeah, because we wanted
had to stop.
stamps.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to go through crossing there. And I don't know why. Because I grew up in the 90s, and that was when the war was, right?
Yeah.
I thought I just was like a little nervous to go through there, but there was no reason. We stopped there on the way back and got some really nice pastries.
Well, and it's funny because you go through Croatia and then you go through a bit of Bosnia, Herzegovina.
For like 20 minutes.
And then you're back in Croatia, because the way they divided the land after the war was so that there was
no beaches for the Bosnians.
Yeah, so that was part of the negotiation. So they kind of have this little poke out in between Croatia.
Which the beaches did look beautiful, the few that they had right there.
Well, because it's the same as Croatia, right? Except that, nobody thinks about it.
Yeah. So we drove into Dubrovnik, which was just kind of stunning. It's stunning. It's a stunning country.
It's beautiful.
Dubrovnik is stunning. You probably, if you watch Game of Thrones, you would know Dubrovnik because the majority of it was filmed there.
Right. But Dubrovnik as a city is very steep, and it is all built on cliff or big.
Yeah.
So anywhere you are, you're going to be stairs are involved. So beware if you're not a stair person or if you have any sort of difficulties walking, because it's unavoidable, and it's really hot in summer.
Oh my God, it's so hot. It's so hot. Well, let's go back and stick to beaches, since this is our beaches thing, and we'll definitely do a whole podcast about Dubrovnik because there is a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But we stayed at an Airbnb that was clearly on a cliff, but had stairs right outside of it that went down to beach level, well, kind of beach level and town level. So, but our view, I'll put our view up. It was fantastic. And we had a hot tub that we didn't use the hot part of it, but we used it as like a cold plunge soaking thing. That was a great Airbnb.
It was. And there's a hotel. So we were right up from this hotel called the Excelsior, which is a pretty well-known hotel in Dubrovnik that's right on the sea. And then, but we were up like 2 flights of stairs from there. But it's easy to get to the water from there.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first beach we went to was kind of right next to Old Town. It's the one in Dubrovnik that I went to, the only one that I would go to.
Right.
And it was called, I'm going to say it with an Italian pronunciation, so because I'm not sure about Croatian, but it's Banje Beach. And it's lovely. And it wasn't even in the heat of summer. It was crowded, but it wasn't like overly crowded.
Right.
And it was beautiful. And I really enjoyed it. I went there like 3 or 4 times. And Lisa went there.
I went there every morning.
Yeah. But then Lisa did find a different beach that she went to.
I did. And it was not easy. It was on the other side of, like, a little bit further away from Old Town. I mean, it probably took me like 45 minutes to get there.
Yeah, just to get there.
Yeah. And then lots of stairs down. But it was Plaza Beach, and it was amazing. Like, super, super beautiful, super clean. I think I was the only one there because I tend to exercise and then I want to go for a swim. So it was probably on the early side in the morning, which I just love because you've almost always have the place to yourself and it's just you and the sound of the water. But yeah, highly recommend if you are in for the trek.
And Lisa in the morning doesn't take her phone, so we don't have video. And it was very stair heavy, so I'm on vacation. So I don't have video, but if you YouTube it, you will find so many videos of people that go to it and they're like, oh my God, look at these stairs. And then getting down's the easy part, but then you got to get back up. So just look it up. It is funny to watch these videos. And then we went to 2 other beaches.
We did. Well, we took the boat ride.
Yeah, we'll save the magic for last on this one. Yeah, we took a boat ride, which was really nice.
It was beautiful. Yeah, and it was just us. And it wasn't expensive.
It wasn't expensive at all.
But so we explored a lot of areas, but then the place that our boat driver took us for lunch was, do you want to say it?
Lopud Island. And the beach was called Sunj. It's SU with a little, no, the S with the little V on top of it, UNJ beach. And it's an island and there's no cars on this island.
And you can get to the beach by boat only. And it's one of the few sandy beaches. And when I say sandy, I mean it was like the finest, whitest sand.
That like to stick all over.
Yeah, but it was so beautiful.
But so it was really nice. I wanted to take pictures, so I thought I would just swim with my phone above my head. So I didn't do that. So we don't have any video or pictures from there.
We had a great lunch there though, too. Remember they had that like really cute hut restaurant where we had lunch?
Yeah. And not crowded. In the heat of the summer, the heart of the summer, it was not crowded. And the beach was pretty big.
Yeah.
So definitely get a boat because I think it was just like less than $200 for like 6 hours.
Yeah. For all of us.
Yeah. Okay. And then the most magical beach of Croatia, in my opinion. I love it. I love it. I've got pictures up. I put stuff up on Instagram before. It's called, I'll let the Croatian tell us.
When she says that, I'm like 2 generations out, so don't expect anything. Pajaka?
Yeah, Pasjac with a little mark A beach. And it is stunning. But what I will say is you have to park way up a cliff and it's like 30 minutes?
Yeah.
It's like a 30-minute like hike along a cliff that your sister would have hated it. Hike along a cliffside with stairs, like rock stairs. So they're just not even, or that it's kind of scary going down.
Well, okay, so 2 things. I have a bad hip, and so I get very nervous on going down things and like losing my footing. And so I was just like, you remember this? Like grabbing onto like men the whole way down. There was at the very bottom, it gets really steep, and I was sliding, and some man just stopped and like caught me at the bottom.
And at the very bottom, the steps sometimes are like 3 feet high.
Yeah.
Like you're bouldering, basically.
I couldn't even do it. But the thing is that for most of the walk down or climb down, you can't see what you're going to.
No.
So it's like, is this really worth it? Like, if I kill myself, is this really worth it?
Well, and I'm afraid of heights. Like I was nervous the whole part going down until we got around that one corner and you're like, oh.
And then it's like, okay, yeah, that's worth it. I could kill myself for this. This is stunning.
And I will say, and I don't say this often about going up and down stairs and cliffs, but going down felt a lot longer than going back up to me. And usually it's the opposite because I'm usually like, oh, it's a lot of stairs. But it felt like an eternity to get there. But once you get there, it is a slice of heaven. A slice of heaven. And that's the beach that Lisa like just disappeared. Like, where'd she go? But yeah, so it was a stunning beach.
Yeah. All right. Should we move on to Split?
Yeah.
We had that Airbnb.
It was on a little island off a Split, kind of like a peninsula.
Yeah. And it was on the sand. Like you walked out, it had a huge yard, and then you walked out and you were at the water.
Yeah. And when she says sand, she means rocks.
Oh yeah. And that beach was, it's funny too that you were talking about octopus and stuff being under, but that beach is full of the
sea urchin.
Yeah, like everywhere. So you have to be so careful where you walk.
You have to wear shoes in that water.
Well, and still be careful because you don't want to kill any of them. But it's it's really, really heavy sea life there.
But totally worth it when you have a beach right outside your back door.
Yeah. And there was lots of places to walk the dog there. Like we would go on total hiking adventures.
Forests.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a really, really diverse island and a lot to see. And then some mornings I'd walk Rex for like an hour or something, be all crazy hot because it was ridiculously hot, even super early in the morning, and then go around the corner. There was a bay, and I would swim along the whole,
It's
like
called
swim.
Hidden Bay.
Yeah, I would swim back to our house from there, and it was amazing. I mean, it's so quiet and beautiful, and no crowds there.
No crowds because it's just a row of houses, basically.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of mountain, like we were on the bottom because we were beachside, but everything was built up into mountains there. It's very mountainous.
Yeah.
That, no crowds. Like nobody was out by our little beach. We would drag our sun loungers from our backyard out to like the sand, the rocks out there, and just sit out there and swim. Katie and Lisa would sit out there and read in their inflatables.
Yeah, and Rex swam there.
Rex swam there a lot. He loved it there.
Yeah.
And then because we were on kind of a little peninsula island, if we walked out and went to the right and walked for a while, we got to this beach called Copacabana Beach. That's where that big inflatable land was.
Yeah, yeah.
And Katie and Dylan, Katie for as long as she could because she's a grown up, but they played on that inflatable for hours.
Yeah, so for people who don't know what we're talking about, it's like a big obstacle course, bounce house, climby thing that's inflatable and in the middle of the sea.
Yeah.
And so you go out there and it's slippery as can be getting on and off. But you know, you jump in the water, you jump in the house, you climb on things. It's like the best entertainment for kids. And you can get life jackets when you buy your tickets.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's just fantastic for kids from, I would say, like 6 or 7 up.
Yeah, that one you could swim to. There's some that are so far out in the sea that they have to take you by boat or jet ski to get to.
Yeah.
I don't go to them, so they used to make me nervous because I'd be like, okay, bye, Dylan. Have fun in the middle of the sea.
Well, I used to do it with him until I broke my toe on that one.
Yeah. Tons of restaurants over there on the sea. Tons of gelato places, souvenir shops. It's like it's a little beach community.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And then because we had those beaches just right outside our house, we didn't really explore much, but we did drive over to the other side of the little island we were on to Tananye. Is that how you say it? Tananye Beach?
Sure.
It was like a little cove. It was about a 20-minute drive from our house. I don't have any clear, memorable memories. I don't have any. It was nice.
Yeah, we certainly didn't go anywhere that we didn't like the whole time we were there. So yeah, so Split is beautiful. It's also there's so many little islands in Croatia that you could explore and find amazing beaches that, are indescribably beautiful but we definitely recommend Split and the place we went next.
Yes. So we wanted to do something a little further north and someplace that we didn't know. And for some reason, we landed on Pog Island. And we booked this really great Airbnb, also basically right on the sand.
Right.
But it was apartment building. So we were on the top floor. We had this great terrace. But what we didn't realize when we booked it, that Pog Island is like the destination for EDM festivals in the summer. And there were so many festivals when we were there. Yeah,
there was a lot of partying happening, but it didn't interfere with anything that we were doing. Like it wasn't like it was loud or, there wasn't crazy crowds or anything.
No, because I think we're out when everybody else is sleeping.
Right. That's why I do early morning swims.
But the island, there's one little road that you can take from the mainland, over a bridge, is how we got there, and then we took a boat back. A ferry.
And Pog has a lot. I feel like it has so much more than Split to actually do.
Yes.
Because there's markets, there's that whole area, the harbor where you can rent boats.
A glass bottom boat. They've got a submarine that goes out.
And the one that we were going to do with Katie, that I was going to do with Katie, but the weather was bad. The super speedboat.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that? Where
Yeah.
it's like it almost goes underwater, but
Yeah.
the top is open with you. Like, I don't know how to describe it, except it's like it goes insanely fast and it kind of shoots under the water at times and jumps up.
Pog Island is definitely like a tourist beach attraction island.
Yeah.
Like they've got all of it. They've got tons of restaurants around. The town is cute.
Yeah, it's
The food is great.
yeah. The food in general in Croatia is great. So and it's very familiar. So you're not going to feel like you don't know what to order because it's the same. It's kind of a mix of Italian and a little bit of French and a little bit of Turkish.
Yeah,
Like I feel like
yeah.
it's all stuff that's really nice. But there were also like lots of places to walk. Like we took Rex on long, long walks
Yeah,
along the
yeah.
perimeter of the island and could stop and swim anywhere. And
They have almost like dunes on
yeah,
out there that have like wood forestry. They're just it was really cool. It was cool.
yeah, it's the music festivals, like I said, didn't bother us at all. But it's kind of a nice balance of there being a lot of stuff to do and there being just nature stuff to do too.
Yeah.
You know,
And I don't have a lot of the names of the beaches because it's all beach because it's a small island. But we walked to this beach called Planjica. I don't know. Every night we would walk there with Rex. We never swam there though, did we?
He did.
He did.
Yeah.
And then we went to the main beach is called Babe Beach, and that's where they had inflatables, an inflatable thing. And we did that there. Dylan did.
And services, like there's a few restaurants there, there's bathrooms there, there's a big parking lot.
It was nice. And then we went to this other beach. I don't know what it was called, like Plaza Pernic. I don't know. We drove to the other side.
We'll put the names on the website.
Yeah. And then we happened to be there for a full moon. So Katie and I went for our full moon swim. Creepy. But so yeah, Pog Island is I had never heard of it, but I would say go.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that if I had to pick one of these beaches or one of these areas for the entire vacation, I think I would choose Pog just because there's so much to do. As much as I love the other two, especially Dubrovnik, like I think that kind of you get a little bit of everything and it's a resorty feel.
Yeah, it's a true beach. You're beaching it all the time.
Yeah.
I know why we went there because we wanted to go, and I don't know if this is how you say it, but KRK, so I don't know how you would say it. We were trying to go there, but there was nothing available. Remember?
Yeah, yeah. Well, isn't that because we wanted to copy
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes.
Yeah.
We saw his video and we were like, we want to go there.
But I just don't think you can go wrong with Croatian beaches.
Yeah. And definitely we have so much more to talk about Croatia in general.
Yeah.
That will be coming up. But okay, so my tips for Croatian summer: bring water shoes.
Yes.
And plenty of sunscreen because it gets hot. And so if you're a person that needs a hat or whatever, like prepare for center of the sun heat.
Rent a car.
Yep. And be prepared for hiking.
Yeah. Because it's a lot to get up and down to the beaches.
Yeah. And I will say that a lot of the water shoes have like pretty serious traction on the bottom. So that's what I used. I don't know that it was that I had the best ones, but it might be worth investing a little bit into your water shoes to make sure that you feel good and safe and comfortable when you're doing these hikes and then go into the water.
And I will say, we don't do this, but our friend Katie scuba dives, and she went scuba diving in Croatia and thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go to Croatia.
And if you don't want to scuba dive, get one of my masks because I'm telling you, it's the best thing ever.
I'll put it up on the website because I don't know if they have it in America specifically, but they are fantastic. And you can buy them all over Europe.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening.
Yes, thanks.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and review us.
We'll be back next week with some more summer fun. And check out our website, www.thegetawayswithaz.com.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.